The greatest challenges to home and studio recording is how to get a great amplified guitar tone at a low level. Introducing the Rivera Silent Sister.
What we had with the ISO cabs that are on the market today is you have a speaker in a sealed box with a microphone cartridge in that sealed box. The speaker driver is pushing into a sealed environment as well as pulling from a sealed environment. The microphone capsule is pressurized in this environment, meaning every time that the speaker cone moves, the pressure within the box is actually pushing the microphone cartridge in, the diaphragm in itself. So instead of the diaphragm responding as if in a free air environment to the vibrations from the speaker cone, it's actually a plunger, as if you were sucking on a clogged sink with a plunger. That's what that microphone cartridge is doing. So, and the speaker itself, because the speaker is pushing into a plugged surface, so to speak, it's pushing into a box with no venting. That means that the speaker cone itself has a huge pressure on it, and that means it also holds the heat into the voice coil now. It has no way to vent the heat, and you get all this excessive heat. I mean, that's from a reliability standpoint, it's terrible. You're going to rip up the speaker. Eventually, you're going to blow the speaker because it's being overheated, pushing into this environment. You now have got it as a piston. In a free air environment where a speaker is free to vibrate, it's going to sound better as well because it's free to do what the instructions are, the signal that's given to the speaker. And that isn't the case in an ISO cab, current ISO cab. So we wanted to create an environment for the speaker as if it was behaving in a free air environment, like you had a guitar amplifier on a stage, or you had a guitar amplifier in a studio, and you had a microphone in front of it. How does that speaker behave in this huge open room? Well, that's what we needed to do within the cabinet, is to create an environment for the speaker as if it was a big open room. Now the same thing with the microphone cartridge. If you have a microphone that's in front of a speaker in a large room, there's no pressurization of the diaphragm. It's going to be able to pick up correctly and reproduce correctly that which it hears. So by creating this box where we've actually expanded the volume of the box with this labyrinth, as well as this labyrinth vents on the bottom of the box, it's as if we added 32 feet to this speaker cabinet, and now it depressurizes the speaker. So the speaker is pushing into a free air environment. The microphone cartridge is in a free air environment. So it's as if the whole thing was on stage or in your living room or whatever, venting into a large room or being played in a large room. And that's how it sounds. Now within the box itself, we use some very clever construction techniques. There's no square box that the speaker is feeding into. So we broke up the standing waves. So there's very carefully engineered angles inside this cabinet that the speaker is facing into, as well as, of course, there's all kinds of absorbative material and so on. So the speaker is not, creating any excessive standing waves. It's depressurized, and it's very quiet. I mean, there's about a 30 dB kill from listening to the speaker with the box open to closing the door of the box and listening to the speaker. 30 dB isolation is substantial. It's not 100% quiet, but certainly you can talk over it and carry on a conversation. For live performances, the Silent Sister is fabulous. The first reason is you don't have the problem of having stage imbalances by the guitar amps being too loud. By actually having microphones isolated in the box, you're then free to use the levels through the monitors as well as the mains PA system and be able to get an accurate balance on stage. This is really critical in small clubs. In small clubs, the guitar player will fry the first few rows of the audience, and then the club owner says, "Turn it down!" And they're always struggling to get this balance between the singer and the PA and so on. Another point that you brought up earlier, by having the microphones in the Silent Sister inside, you're not picking up extraneous noises from other instruments, including the drums that are on stage. So the mix for the sound engineer is a lot easier because he's not bringing up other instruments by bringing up the level of the guitar player. For churches, the Silent Sister is a dream come true. One of the things in houses of worship is you're not performing at huge decibel volumes that you would in a live concert somewhere. This is houses of worship where the performers themselves need to be carefully controlled in levels, especially if they have a choir singing simultaneously. So if you have this blasting guitar amplifier that's next to a choir, the omnidirectional microphones that are on the choir are going to be picking up the guitar player. And then it's going to cause problems because they're going to want to turn down the level that's on the choir because they hear the guitar bleeding through. So this is really the sound man's dream in a church, to be able to isolate the guitar player and be able to control his level accurately to get a really nice blend and keep the entire level pleasant within the environment of a church. For home recording, it's fabulous because of the huge attenuation of levels. You can crank up your guitar amp, have the accurate sound of the mic recording it, and have very little level outside of the cabinet. The Silent Sister is so easy to transport. We've given it 3 handles, so it's easy to get a hold of it. It actually has a very small footprint. It's tall, but it doesn't occupy much space on it. It's easy to transport also because we have wheels on the bottom of it, and you can kick the cabinet back and just roll it when you transport it.
The Silent Sister comes standard with a pair of pre-wired microphone goosenecks, an installed 8-ohm Celestion G12T75 speaker, and built-in casters for easy transport.